Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1 of day number 1 of Eagle Strike number 2. We are on Faymanville and we have FeriG as the Brits going for Aussies. What is HelpingHans doing, my dear friend Shark?
So Hans, he's elected to go DAC, which I think is really interesting on a wide map like Faymanville against a British opponent in FeriG, but he's starting out with a Krodschützen and a Panzergrenadier. And so I wonder if we're going to see a relatively meta balanced DAC build from him at the start until he figures out what FeriG's doing, which he will see very shortly once he runs into these Australian light infantry.
Aussies beat Palm Grenadiers up so badly. It's insane.
I think the Aussie battle group is such a good counter to the DAC. The Aussie infantry scale really well. The 2-pounder is a nice counter. The only downside is if you invest too heavily into the Aussies, you don't have the snares to deal with the DAC light vehicles. But we'll see how they adapt here.
Yeah, that's true, but keep in mind you have the really cheap 2-pounder.
Mm-hmm.
And at that one, get the stun shot or snare shot, however you want to call it.
The kill a tiger for free shot?
Yes, basically. And it's amazing against the DAC LVs. So
yeah,
we will see.
And actually, 2 sappers is a nice counter to this Krodschützen. The SMGs just do so much damage.
Oh yeah, true. By the way, first real engagement is going on the 10-pointer ammo, but Hans decides to disengage. I think he would have won this in the long run.
Yeah, he's got his bike already healing up on the cutoff here.
The beggars are threatening a fuel point.
And only one Aussie. Follow up with an infantry section.
I think he's aware of the threat. Although Hans is playing really heavily into the infantry, he's got another Panzergrenadier on the way. I like the 2 Panzer Pioneers. That's a lot of utility. And a lot of flexibility as the game goes late. So I think that's a smart choice.
I agree, especially with a lot of mines, but no Panzerjäger doctrine. So no S-mines, no Riegel mines, so...
Obviously, and it wasn't vetoed.
Yeah, it was not vetoed, so he could have... And in my opinion, it's a great doctrine. You get, on the left tree, the defense one, I don't know how it's called, but you get basically CA in friendly territory in cover for free.
Entrenchment, yeah.
Entrenchment, which is, I think, really strong with the Palm Grenadiers, especially in the early game. And then you get another buff if you have an LV or a vehicle close by. So I think it's really good.
I think, especially, I mean, it's even more powerful in team games. I think DAC, their best battle groups are the ones where you can play, where they provide mainly buffs to the base faction, right? Think Armored Support, think the Panzerjäger Command. The Italian Combined Arms is good, especially in 1v1s, but it requires you to totally change your play style. It's like similar to USF Airborne. If you see Airborne, you're probably not playing a generic USF build.
Yeah, I agree. But Aussies showing off why they're so good against Palm Grenadiers. First the sniper shot and then moving in.
And they recently got that close range damage buff, but these Panzer Grenadiers actually holding their ground, eventually just forced away by the infantry section.
Oh yeah.
Hans has kept his Krodschützen very active. It still hasn't hit Vet 1, but once it does, it will be a menace.
Tracer rounds, man.
Yep.
Makes the Krad one of the best units in the early game. Once you had Veteran C1. In my opinion, at least.
Yeah, if you can keep it alive, it is huge buffs between Combined Arms and the Tracer rounds.
By the way, look at the map control. Hans is really keeping up there with the Brit.
I was just thinking that. Really interesting just how much space he has taken up, and he's actually built up a good force here. He's got 3 Panzer Grenadiers, 2 Panzer Pioneers, a Krodschützen. And FeriG, he's floating a lot of fuel, but not as much manpower.
He got healed though, so it's something.
He did. I think he realizes he needs it. The KD is very much in Hans's favor right now.
Yeah. But it will be interesting how the first LV timing will play out there. Because that can get a really strong power spike there. And even though Brits LVs are really strong, the Humber is really strong for Brits, it's really time sensitive against Dag, because Dag at 6 minutes gets its first call in, and the Panzerjägers are eating Humbers for breakfast.
Yeah. You see, Hans going for the fire support element, so it looks like he's going to play tier 2 probably into tier 4. And then FeriG floating a ton, still has not gone for his platoon command post.
Interesting. I think he's delaying it. He might be like, okay, I can play a longer tier 1, but he's not getting additional units either, so why he's not taking up makes no sense to me personally.
Yeah, and without the platoon command post, he can't even go for like the infantry training.
Yeah, true. And here we go, extended tier 1, how it looks like, and more infantry sections are on the way. So
it's an interesting choice, just because that I feel like that plays into Hans, right? You're giving more infantry for him to bleed and to slow down the advantage that FeriG's built up in terms of fuel so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think though you can play an extended tier 1 because of the 2-pounder call-in. You have a little bit of more of room for error there.
Yeah, Panzerjäger half tracks out.
But there has no LV, so
yeah, it has nothing to shoot at.
So first mistake there. Probably, I think the plan for FeriG is he will get 2-pounder next once he sees the half track, and then he will play into tier 4. Just get tier 2 as a speed bump.
Yeah, you know, Hans using the half track for healing to heal up his infantry as they come back out onto the field. I think that's smart.
Yeah, it's such an important. The 250 is such an important unit for deck, for just not only for heal purposes, but that makes it really good.
And just like you called it, 2-pounder on the field.
Yeah. 2-pounder will help greatly against 250. By the way, did you knew that the 250 suppresses at vet 3?
That's wild. If you can get a 250 vet, you know what? You've earned it at that point.
Yeah. Nice try with the attack on ground through the hedgerow, but no connect.
Yeah.
It looks like it's a shot blocker.
Worth noting, Hans has not gone for combat half tracks, so the sapper should still do decent damage if they, especially if they get on the side or the rear armor of the 250.
Also, first weapon upgrade is out for FeriG. Recce package.
Oh, now Flakverling coming for Hans. Really, really nice counter to all the infantry that FeriG has on the field.
Oh yeah, the suppression will make it so good. But 2-pounder is already on the field, so maneuverability of the flag will be reduced.
Oh, these Panzer Pioneers might be in a little bit of trouble here. A lot of units on the retreat path.
That's a tough retreat. And that's a goner for sure.
There it is.
First web of the game. And orange
Recce already called.
Even though orange smoke says it's not that dangerous,
the
Brit
Pioneers might tell you differently.
but the Brit on that says different, yeah.
Oh, FeriG floating a ton of fuel.
And manpower.
He's actually done a very good job kind of quietly retaking map control. Another 2-pounder.
Double 2-pounder against the quad.
I think that's a good fight there.
He's trying to outmaneuver the 2-pounder. Might succeed. Where's the second one? Still in base?
The second one's still in base. Oh, he clears it. The Panzerjägers could destroy it as well. He recruits it with infantry.
But I think it will get decrewed again. But second might come in handy there in time and save the day. He tries to steal it. By the way, he crushed both wires with the Quadrant was slowed.
Flak-filling. Yeah. Took a minute to realize what that was. Oh, first shot whiffs.
Just in. Enemy have 300 points.
Gets a connecting shot in. Maybe the second one misses.
And again, no upgrades for vehicles from Hans. So those 2-pounders can hit really hard.
Yeah. By the way, no infantry training for FeriG yet. But I don't think he teched even up. Nope. Still
No,
on tier one.
he hasn't tech, so it's still not available to him. Krodschützen still doing a good job capping, limping around on about 5% health.
Well, you have self-repair for that, I would say. Heal coming up now for Hans. I might even make a really ballsy statement and say that HelpingHans does not know about the deck upgrades. Or he knows they exist, but because of game pressure, he forgot. He, at least in my opinion, he kind of lacks the knowledge in what we want.
That would be very surprising to me, but I see what you're saying.
2-pounder anti-tank gun.
And Italian infantry has been picked. My favorite deck doctrine.
Yeah. Guastatori, those are the answers here.
The coming fight.
Nah, it's the L640s, man.
A fuel
That makes
point
this
is being
doctrine great.
overrun.
But
I think I was being a little sarcastic about the Guastas
no
on this
worries.
map. I wonder what
The boss should
if he goes, yeah, L640s
200
Really late, like
coming out, yeah.
minute 12.
We're losing a
If the
victory
2-pounders are set up right, FeriG doesn't have grenades teched, so no snares.
Yeah, he can
Yeah,
get
these
overrun there.
L640s could be gross.
But no flamer upgrade, no ammo for that.
control.
So the damage output against infantry is limited. Are we seeing how deck should be played? LV all in?
FeriG immediately techs grenades. Oh, the flag filling hits a mine, almost goes down. I like that placement.
Fuel point.
Yeah, might save the day there. L640 gets the first AT gun shot in.
This Panzer Grenadier is just standing right on the edge of the base, sniping those 2-pounder models.
But base MG there.
A victory point is being overrun.
To be fair, I think if Hans had enough ammo to wait for the flamer upgrade and then did the all in, he would have mopped the floor with FeriG there.
Victory point now.
Because the flamer
If it was-
upgrade, if you're not prepared, it wrecks you so hardcore. It's so incredibly strong. But no, FeriG knows, he's getting snares, he's setting up for them, so the advantage of the L640s evaporate.
Yep. And company command post on the way as well.
Fly lines broken. We
And Hans with those L6s actually set his tech back quite a bit. He's several minutes away from a Panzer Army command unless he regains his fuel control.
Yeah,
The nice thing about the L640s, though, is it's distracting the 2-pounders from being able to really isolate this flak filling.
first
Oh.
L640 is dead.
Yep. Is that a mine that it hit?
No, I think the 2-pounder did it with its... I think he was in, got hit, and then just died on falling back.
Good use of the sight blocker here with the flak filling to close on this 2-pounder, and L640 with the flamer now moving up in support.
AT gun out of position, no second AT gun is there.
This could be now Crusader coming. That might have to be the thing that saves FeriG.
Of Crusader will hit like a brick, man. There's no real AT on the field besides the L640, besides the Dank Hunter.
point is being overrun.
I would love to see the 250 come and tow this 2-pounder away.
200
I think that's the game plan.
We're losing a victory point to enemy action.
If he gets it, man, I will laugh. He's doing it!
He's trying it. He's trying it.
He got it! And no run for your life, little one.
Oh, he did get the vehicle survival package, so that little bit of extra armor Oh, those poor Panzer Grenadiers.
Man, Hans will make it home and tell the
They're
story.
gonna get away. Wow, that's a big swing for Hans, I think.
Yeah.
A sector is in enemy control.
But Crusaders out. And L640 is getting beaten up.
Nice timing on the smoke. Now Panzerjäger's on the way over.
Yeah, but yeah, they have to retreat as well.
Yeah, they think about the tear gas, but they're too low on health. Oh man. FeriG could smash all of this right here. If the Crusader could aim.
He could drive into the bay. No, he picked it up because
Another AT gun coming.
Hans is clicking the wrong buttons. And L640, no!
Oh my gosh, Crusader MVP and his surrenders. Holy cow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Wow.
Available to deploy.
Game number 2 between HelpingHans and FeriG. We are back on Fableville. This time we have HelpingHans as the Brits. With the Aussies. What is FeriG doing, my dear friend?
Well, I find it hilarious that he also immediately went Aussies. That's a great way to show you what the meta is. And 3 pioneers and infantry company for FeriG. Obviously, the terror battle group's been vetoed, so no invisible MG42s.
No invisible man strategy, man. No Panzerjägers, not Panzerjägers, Jägers that are invisible, MGs that are invisible.
Yeah, we're getting to the point where 80% of the Wehrmacht infantry has an ambush bonus.
Yeah, man.
Royal Engineers trained.
Yesterday, that was the first time where I saw host. I obviously always do host stronger Jägers. I play them, I enjoy them, everyone does. But if both Jägers get the ambush bonus up or the ambush going, Stuart is 2-shot dead.
Australian infantry are in reserve.
I was stunned by this. Cause I'm not a big fan of this. You should not 2-shot with an LV or not to Stuart that easily.
It's funny that the ambush bonus adds the damage to the Panzer Shrek.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can pick a battle group again. We have a veto system though in place. So, both players at the beginning of or before the set begins, they veto for each faction one battle group that their opponent can't use.
Australian infantry support is reporting.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting setup where the veto only applies to the opponent and not yourself.
I asked around what player wanted. I offered both solutions, and they gravitated towards the one-sided veto. So
The Pioneers just get in the circle in time to keep the Sappers from capping that field point. The Hanzo's applying a lot more pressure to the fuel this time around. First Grenadier out for FeriG. He has coastals in his lineup.
It would be hilarious to see coastals.
It really would.
Supplies aren't making
Get an Obiche out.
Lines cut.
That would even be more hilarious. But I don't think this will happen. FeriG is in an amazing position. He's sitting comfortably on the fuel there. On the other hand, though, HelpingHans got the fuel from FeriG, so basically both players have switched sides.
Yeah, I think you see that quite a bit in Famous Ball.
Yeah, it's always like this.
Yeah, I love that FeriG's taking the time to wire off those sandbags, though. Even though when he does it when the point is decapping, he doesn't get the construction penalty.
Oh, you don't get it while decapping? Also,
because the point will decap regardless, right?
Yeah, true.
A fuel point is being overrun.
So 2 Aussies for Hans. He finally builds a section command post. He's got an infantry section coming out. So we're not going to see identical builds. And I think against Wehrmacht, I think that's smart. You don't necessarily need some of the flexibility that the sections give you as much against Ver as you do against DAC with all the light vehicles.
Yeah. I agree. The Aussies, the infantry sections also deal well against the Grenadiers, so You don't need heavily play Aussies, but also Aussies obviously help greatly out there. And you basically get the best of both worlds. Snares and the damage.
Look at this third Grenadier for FeriG. I think he's just planning on generating as much map pressure as possible.
Grand number 3, yeah. But 3 Grenadiers is kind of standard. Obviously, the third Pioneer is a little bit much.
Well, now tier 1, he won't need to upgrade healing for a while because all of his Grens will be little medic squads.
Oh, infantry, yeah. Interesting how the meta shifted there. Last patch, nobody got this upgrade, right? Because you needed to be on time with your AT due to the half-track timing from US. And now, because the half-track timing is the problem, especially against Brits, you kind of have more playtime or time till the LV hits, so you can get officer quarters again.
Yeah. Oh man, for a second I thought Hans was going to run down that Pioneer squad, but they take a really lucky retreat path and kind of veer away from all that firepower.
Oh, I think Hans is doing a mistake there.
Mortar from Hans.
Brit mortar's not that great. And against the single NG.
I mean, the Grens do like to fight from cover, but yeah, I agree. I think the Brits have other better options, especially against just a single MG42. But we'll see. Good mortar micro usually pays for itself.
Yeah, I agree, but still, it's that you're sacrificing a lot of tempo with a mortar if there are not many support weapons. And especially with the higher tick rate in Co-3, tempo is something you don't want to sacrifice.
The enemy has pushed us back from our sector.
Yeah, both players swapping fuel points again. We were talking about Luftwaffe company in the build for FeriG. Meanwhile, 2-pounder hitting the field for Hans. So again, it's Hans kind of really investing in AT, and I don't know if there's going to be anything on the field right away for that 2-pounder to target.
Yeah. But the thing with AT is, right,
Points to enemy action.
if you get it and there's no LV on the field or a tank, it's dead. It's dead unit. It does nothing. You don't want to cap with AT guns. You can't fight with them. So it's not that useful. But if there's a tank on the field, before the AT is on the field, it's really painful.
Yeah. Yeah, that timing is so important because that's still 200 and it's only 220 manpower for the 2-pounder. That's a lot of manpower devoted to a weapon that can't have an impact on the game. And again, someone like FeriG, he will punish you for not being able to maintain the map presence and the pressure.
Yeah. And Jäger number 1 is on the field. Ah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Dave has a good point, actually.
Yeah, he says because you should never preemptively call in an AT gun, especially a call-in AT gun like the 2-pounder. The call-in nature means there's no build time, so it allows you to be reactive. And so bringing it on the field when there's nothing for it to do is a bigger risk than would be apparent.
Oh yeah, I agree totally with that.
And look at this, FeriG's got Hans kind of hemmed into this central pocket here. Jaeger, good use of smoke on the center VP. Hans finally getting his platoon command post out. He's got enough fuel for a Humber. And I think he needs something to allow him to really push and spread out the field a little bit.
Yeah. By the way, FeriG had on the left side the push or the middle went really well, was able to force off the mortar, but on the right hand side he was forced off and nearly lost the Flamer Pioneer.
We've lost the sector to the enemy.
2-1 is on the way, so at least the AT gun will get something to do.
Have something to do. Probably going to go for the radio net for the map hacks, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the anti-tank upgrade on the 2-1 because it has no scaling since the nerf of the white phosphorus shot.
I love this, using the Grens to lay wire in front of the Sandgarter wall. The Grens have a lot of utility that I think, especially at lower levels, gets ignored.
But
Maybe
only
just
one
steal sand.
there misses a piece
ahead.
of wire. So in the end he did nothing.
You can't fit a whole Aussie squad in there.
Yeah, okay, but still. That's one piece of wire. 2-1 will be
Yeah, all
amazing
the-
against Hans' build.
Yeah, as long as he can keep it away from the 2-pounder, he's in a great spot. No grenades for Hans, so no snare, only the 1 infantry section. They're on retreat, so that 2-2-1 can move around, and now Jaegers and Gren's hunting the 2-pounder. Oh, they're right up on it.
Sector overrun.
I do like this placement, this mine placement from Hans, though, to kind of protect the base dive.
Yeah. Well, I don't... Against FeriG, it might not be the best mine.
I agree.
Like, if you're playing against Reckley, I would understand this mine.
Victory points are under enemy control. We must counterattack.
Oh, the merge on the Flame Pioneers.
Ah, good old
Nice,
Flamer
so smart.
merge. A staple
Yep.
of the co-games.
Now the Humbers come in.
And the game is done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hans felt a lot of pressure there, and looks like he was not able to recover, but it looks also he lost the 2-pounder.
Yeah. Man, I'm surprised at the kind of the early surrender.
We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind-the-scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.